Hi there. Are you ready to get your spark back, to find the sparkle, to see your eyes filled brightly colored and sparkling again? Are you ready to connect in with your spiritual team? Really get loud, clear messages from your intuition, from your soul, and to feel as if you know where you're going and you know that it's the right path for you. So the reason I'm doing this video today is because so many of you have asked me to answer your questions about the Angels at Uluru Sacred Retreat, Sacred Vision Retreat, which is in August 2020. And I'm also going to be adding a bonus healing session for you. So I'm going to take you through a guided healing to help you to connect in and get grounded and have your energy nice and clear and protected. So I'm going to take you through that. After I've answered some of your questions and given you all of the rundown around Angels at Uluru 2020. So I've been running this retreat at Uluru, which was also known as Ayers Rock. So the resort at Uluru is Ayers Rock Resort. And it's a beautiful sacred site in the center of Australia. It's a place where there is beauty. You can see the night skies because there's no pollution, there's no city in that area. And it's all centered around this beautiful, huge red rock, which is the sacred site of the Anangu people. And the Anangu are the oldest living culture on the planet. They are still practicing their cultural practices. They're still looking after their land and their country out there. They're still doing sacred ceremonies and what they call law, which is according to their own beliefs and understanding and ancient rules, if you like, about how to live and how to look after the land and how to interact with the land and also with their ancestors and with their spiritual guardians. They are still doing that, and English is actually around the third or fourth language for nearly all the Aboriginal people that live out there, and which makes for it to be an extra sacred spiritual place. You know, it's because they are keeping the land and the spirituality and the sacredness alive. With their practices, with their beliefs, and by passing on those stories and those laws, if you like, to their children and their families, that it creates an energy, it creates an atmosphere out there that is like nowhere else I've ever been. I mean, you can feel the sacredness of lots of places around the world, but I happen to think this place is very, very special, and it is very special for so many reasons. And so I wanted to come on and do a quick rundown of what is going on out there and why it is so sacred. Somebody asked me the other day during my Facebook Live on Monday, why is it so sacred out there? And so that's the first reason, is because there is a living culture. Now, the Anangu people have a very strong connection with Uluru. And they have lots of stories about how it was created and how the creator ancestors created that place. And it's super sacred to them. It's like their not just their cathedral, but it's also a place where they used to live in the caves around there. There's lots of ancient art in the caves at Uluru. Lots of people think it's just a plain red rock in the middle of a desert, and that's the furthest from the truth. There's so many features on it. There's rock. And there's artwork dating back 60,000 years. And what we're doing on my retreat this time is that we're getting to spend a morning with traditional owners, Aboriginal people and translators, who are going to tell us the stories and show us some special spots around the base of Uluru. That's on the last day, on the 9th of August. And they're going to also take us, and we're going to spend some time at the Cultural Centre in an art class with them. So they're going to teach us their traditional painting, and we are going to have a chance to do the painting with them. And of course, their painting is all about their stories, is all about their lore, is all about their culture. So we're getting to experience that firsthand and to learn how they do it. So we're going to be also learning some of their sacred stories and understanding, which is something personally just gives me goosebumps and makes me so grateful, because a lot of the tourists that go out there, and don't get me wrong, I'm not putting anyone down, but they get the stories third or fourth hand, because they get maybe an English or a German or an Australian or a Japanese tour guide who's never had any contact with the Anangu, and telling the stories, which I actually think is a bit cringy and a bit wrong. I think that they should be telling us their stories. Most people don't get to spend hours and hours with them. And you are getting to do that. I've organised that for the last day of our retreat. So we get the whole morning where we're going to go down to Uluru early. We're going to experience it before all the tourists get there. We're going to do a ceremony, a prayer, a meditation, and an opportunity for you to let go. It's different every year that I do it. And this isn't something where you're going to have to dance or wear silly clothes or anything. You just get to be there and be a part of it, heart, body, and soul. Don't be worried that I'm going to, make you do things that are going to embarrass you or make you cringe. This is just about us being together as a group. So we do that at the base of Uluru at a sacred space, and then we meet up with the guide. We get to have a look at the artwork and learn some stories. She told us about manifesting last time. She showed us the tools that they use still and did use thousands of years ago. And then we'll get to go to the cultural centre. We'll have the art class and get to sit with the older ladies. And then we're going to have lunch together. So that's going to be our last day. So it's a sacred site. When you get out there, it doesn't matter if you're sensitive or not sensitive energetically, you will feel the magnetic pull of Uluru. This is multiple layers, because I actually dropped my phone out there last time, and I had a cover on it with a magnetic clip. And I noticed that all of the little gravel pieces stuck to my phone, because it is literally, the earth is magnetic out there. So you can imagine how that makes you feel. It's so, the air is so clear. It's untouched by bushfires. It's not been a bushfire area. You're going to have wildflowers out there, because there's been a lot of rain, and wildflowers and a lot more birds in August. And there's this magnetic pull, and you can feel the magnetic pull between Mount Connor, which is to the kind of north, and you've got Karachuda, which is another amazing monolith, which is not far away, 50 or so kilometers away in a straight line. And there's a magnetic field between these three great big sacred sites, which you will feel. You'll also feel the energy emanating from that space, because it is sacred, and it's also spoken about widely as being a place where you get to see. I mean, I always see lights out there. I always see orbs. I always see lots of dancing energies, but where you will have spiritual, magical experiences. Last year, a lady took some photos, and she had masses of orbs in her photographs. You get signs, you get intuition, because the energy is clearer and much more. It's a place where you feel really well, and you start to be able to clearly see what it is that you need to see, and if you're manifesting, you can sort of borrow the power, ride that wave to start to create the life that you want to create. And that's why I do it out there. So people like Diana Cooper and other spiritual teachers have spoken about Uluru as being the solar plexus chakra of the world. It's widely known, and if you look for ley lines, maps and things like that, a lot of them show going through Uluru. So it has multi-layers of it being this vortex and this power site. It is just a really, really beautiful, magical place. And Kim says, I wish I had the confidence to go. Look, that's one thing. I get a lot of women who come to my retreat out at Uluru who are single, or their partner doesn't want to come. And it's your chance to come out and be with a group and not be, feel alone. You can experience all of the beauty, the things that are out there, but not feel like you're going by yourself. And, some people choose to stay a day extra and do a few tours. But this year I'm doing the 3 days. So usually I do 2 days, and everyone always complains and says, I wish it was a day longer. So this time I'm doing it a day longer. And I understand that, because I always feel like we all just get to know each other, and then we all get on our planes and go. So it's a beautiful, like-minded thing. Like, I know people make really good friends on this retreat. I've had people come back 2-3 years in a row. It's comfortable, it's warm, there's no bitchiness, there's no ego. I don't allow that in my classes and in my programs. And if people are like that, they tend to, well, it just doesn't happen. But it's not about that. It's not about ego. It's not about being competitive or how spiritual we are or whatever. This is about us being together in this sacred place and doing the work on ourselves and doing some spiritual and connective work, because can you imagine a more powerful, amazing place to just be able to stop for 3 days and focus on yourself and your journey. And also I've put space in the program so you get times off, in free time in blocks, so you can go off and have a walk. You can go into the spa in the resort. You could just go and sit on the veranda of your hotel room and write in your journal, so that you're not feeling rushed. So we've got a half day on the Friday, which is the 7th of August, where you come in at lunchtime. We have our session up until about 5 o'clock, and then we'll have afternoon tea. And then on the Saturday, we have a full day where you come in around 9 o'clock. We finish around 3:30 or 4, so that everyone, if they want to go on their sunset and go and watch the sun setting over Uluru, which is phenomenal, because it's red. And when the sun is setting and casting its light in this desert area, everything goes luminous, gold, orange, purples, ruby red. You've never seen anything like it. And if there's clouds, then it's even more spectacular. So you can watch the sun setting and have a coffee or a cup of tea, or like I do, or a glass of wine, and just stand and watch this amazing sunset. So I make sure that I finish early enough that people can go off and do that. And then on the Sunday, we meet early down at the base of Uluru. We have our sacred healing ceremony, and then we go and meet the tour, which is a small private tour with this Aboriginal lady. And then we go off and do our cultural centre art class, and then we have lunch together, and then by 2 o'clock we'll be done, and everybody gets to explore again for the afternoon and fly home on the Monday. So we're going to be doing, energy work, clearing your intuitive channels, working with the angels to receive messages, channeling angel cards, doing a little bit of angel card reading. You don't have to have experience. It's all being given to you. I'm going to be doing some meditations and activations which are guided, so you just need to relax. You sit or you lay down, bring your pillow from your hotel room, and completely relax as I take you through these energy clearing activations. So I'm going to be doing 4 of those over the weekend at least. And you are going at the time of the Lion's Gate, 8th of the 8th, 2020. So that is going to be an ultra special day. Lots of power and energy around that day too. So can you imagine how we're layering this workshop on, and the inner work that you need to do. For me, it's about you making a transformation. It's about you taking time away from your normal life, stepping out, having an experience that takes you out of yourself so that you're not sitting in stress, helping you to release stress, tension, accumulated negative experiences, fears from your energy body, from your physical body, and from your mind. Attuning you to your spiritual team, helping you to get the messages and guidance for what you need at this time, at this moment, and giving you the space to get the messages and the guidance and the inner realizations that you need. So it's all about you and making this transformation and having recognition of where you're going next. And I also do a visioning circle as well. So we all work together on your vision, which is a really powerful thing to do. I've had people leave that workshop and just say, I've completely changed. I feel on a deep level I've changed. I remember one lady looking at me and her eyes were just so sparkling. She just said, I've been treating myself so badly. I've been putting myself last. I've been putting all of my energy into other people and other things in my work, and I haven't been looking after me, my body, or my spirit. And now I know what to do. And she was going to start her spiritual business when she left. And she She just looked different. She had the energy back. I've had people walk away and say, I've been trying to manifest a house, I've been trying to manifest a job, I've been trying to manifest the soulmate, and within 3 weeks to 3 months, it's arrived, because it's the power. I can't stress it enough. It's the power. And it's also being in that environment where you have gone, okay, I'm going to do this for myself. So many changes, so many transformations. I don't want to talk too much about those, because some of them have been private. Some of them have been written on the page, the sales page for Angels at Uluru. So you can have a look at the testimonials at the bottom about that. So I imagine it like a giant wishing well in a way, right? But tons more sacred, heaps more energy. I actually put out a prayer when I was out there in 2015 that I could meet the Dalai Lama. And guess what? I met the Dalai Lama by accident. I bumped into the Dalai Lama, who was having a meeting with the elders that was private, that wasn't publicized, at the base of Uluru. I was out there to see him speak, a public speak. And I got to shake his hand and meet him. And in that morning, I'd got up early just to pray for that. And the same day, I got a message from Wayne Dyer, who's passed now, who's an amazing spiritual guru, with Namaste on it, because I put a comment on one of my pictures of Uluru. I mean, a man with 2 million followers. So amazing things happen out there. I've been going for years, and it's a reset for you. It's a reset, and it's a it's really, really beautiful and different. You can't really put it into words, and you can't even on the photos really express what it's like when you first see it. It takes your breath away. It's much more enormous. I think it's about 900 meters high. It's about 9.4 kilometers radius around it, diameter. It takes up about 3.3 kilometers space, and it travels. It's bigger under the ground than it is above the ground. It's an incredible. And the walks, there's trees, there's water holes. There's a couple of places that feel like a chapel, because they're these silent, beautiful spots where in the rainy times the created waterfalls. So there's water holes there. And you can tell there is water under the earth there. It's not this dry, barren desert that everyone imagines it to be. So the hotels and the accommodation. My retreat, I charge only for the program that I teach, the tour and the experience with the Ananu people, the catering at the event. So I do morning, afternoon tea, depending on when we're there, and lunch on the last day. You also are going to get a free... you get a crystal, which I'm going to send to participants this time. We're going to do an activation webinar before we all get together to activate your crystals ready for when you take them out to Uluru with you. You get gifts. I won't tell you what those are yet, because it's nice to be surprised. And it's all held in this beautiful resort venue. So it's like it's usually used as a ballroom or a conference room, I guess, but it's nice. It's not like a boring old conference room. So we hold it in there because it's nice and quiet and private, and we've got big windows you can see out. And then where you want to stay, there's probably 5 or 6 different versions of accommodation, which are all inside this resort. So if you imagine the resort is almost like a little town, and it's got a square in the middle of it with a supermarket, a newsagent, a hairdresser, restaurants, pizza restaurant, bakery, place to have coffee and tea. Yes, they do good coffee out there. Yes, you can get gluten-free. Yes, you can, any of your dietary needs you can get from the supermarket or from most of the restaurants. And then you've got the resort. And so it's all within 10 minutes of each other walking, or there's a free shuttle bus that goes between the resorts. So you could stay in the backpackers and pay $40 a night, Australian, or bring your own tent and pay $40 a night, Australian, or you could stay in a hotel, which is about $250 a night, Australian. You could twin share with another participant and make that $125 a night. You can stay in probably the most expensive is the apartments, which is around $390 a night. And there's also a 5-star hotel, which is around $370 a night. So I think there's also a motel, which is around $160 maybe per night. So it's there to meet all budgets, which is why I don't include accommodation, one of the reasons, in the ticket price, because you can choose what you want. Lots of people come out sometimes with their husband or family and they want to stay somewhere in particular. So I leave that to you. You can choose and book your accommodation. They've actually got deals on at the moment. Your flights are also not included because people come from all over. I've got somebody coming from the UK this time. I've got people coming from all parts of Australia. You want to get to Sydney or the Gold Coast or some major airport, and then you've got a 2.5-hour flight direct to Ayers Rock Airport, Uluru. You will fly in and see out of the window Uluru. It's amazing, but it's only 2.5 hours from Sydney. It's hardly any flight at all, really, considering where you're going. So, but you feel like you're in another world when you get there. So those are all the things that you probably need to know, as well as some of the things that are good to know. It is a life-changing experience. So people have said to me, oh, I could go on holiday to Broome for that, or I would rather go to Europe. Then that's fine. Go to Europe. I don't go to the supermarket and say, oh, I could spend my money somewhere else. I just do it. If you would like an experience that is giving you a chance to do something spectacular, something amazing, to have a cultural experience, as well as do some inner work and clear out energies that have been blocking you and holding you back and stressing you and draining you and pulling you down, then this is the experience for you. And I know Leanne is here. She did it with us last year. It's whatever needs to come up to heal you will come up. Whatever guidance you need will show up. You'll have synchronicities. You'll have clarity, because it is such an amazing, beautiful place. One lady said to me last year, she said, my whole intention for this was just to have a sign that my angels were real and that they were with me. And she'd been through such a tough time. You know, everyone has their own private stuff, and she didn't need to share that with us. We didn't do a big kind of like, let's all talk about our problems. Some people brought stuff up, but I respect your privacy with that. I let you do it in your own way, and I give you the guidelines and the help to do that. But she'd had such a tough time, and she had the most amazing sign from her angels, and she said, I have 100% faith now. So isn't that lovely that, you know, everyone comes with their own intention, and it doesn't have to be, we don't have to all, it's not like group therapy. It's an opportunity to come and have your own experience, but also link up with like minds, make some friendships. And it's just nice to be somewhere where you don't have to say, oh, don't think I'm stupid, but I believe in angels. Do you know what I mean? That kind of conversation where we have, oh, I hope you don't think I'm weird. We don't need to do that because we're all in a group together. So what else do I need to tell you? It definitely does emit an energy, and everyone is in agreement of that, including the Anamu people. There is absolutely no doubt. This isn't just something that's in your imagination. It's palpable. The local traditional owners, there is a belief that Uluru is like a living, it's not just a rock, it's a living creature. And there's actually signs up that say, you know, don't just point your camera at it and take a picture, look closer, because there's more going on than you realize. Yes, the earth is iron ore out there, which is what makes that beautiful red color. But there's other places where the earth is iron ore and doesn't quite have the same feeling. So it is an amazing, amazing place. Now, just checking with, I'm going to do a healing with you at the moment. Is there anything else that I need to tell you about this? So we have a smallish group of, I think last year we had 12 or 14, I can't remember. It's been around that number, and that's a good number for me. I like that for this kind of group because I like to, you know, be able to connect with everybody, and it doesn't feel too big. If you've never done anything spiritual before, it doesn't matter. I've had people that are not particularly that in their everyday life, but this is a delve into it, and it's a refresh, a recharge, a chance to do something different and to just have an amazing experience. It's an amazing experience. It's definitely something that I recommend that you do. So Lara says, I went there once in the 90s, lived with the Rangers. It's amazing. Went back with my sons. Yeah. And I find as well, do you find this, Lara and Leanne, that it calls you? It's literally, you get a bit of a calling. So if you're on the fence about this, you can ask the angels, ask universe to give you signs. And if you're thinking, oh, I don't want to spend the money, then say, okay, if I'm meant to go, show me how, I think somebody wrote to me today and said, I've been asking for help getting money for this thing, and something happened, and here is the money, so I'm going to do it. And that's the way it works, right? Or you'll get an idea of like how you can manifest that money, or how that money can come to you, and you might get a offer of some work, or you might sell something, or you might get a stipend, or something might come in that you've been waiting for a long time. So put it out there. It's not expensive. At the moment, you've got $300 off the full price. That's because what I pay, it increases with numbers. So at the moment, you've got a chance to do the early bird special, which expires on the 28th of February. And it's 1,497 Australian dollars, which at the moment, the Australian dollar is absolutely awful compared to the US dollar and Canadian dollar and the British pound and the euros. So you literally, I think for an American, it's around 1,300, or maybe that's Canadian. For an English person, it's around half that, £750 to come to a 3-day program with all of those things involved. It's not expensive. Flights from within Australia, you can expect anything from about 600. You might get in the sales something a bit less. Accommodation, as I said, you can choose your accommodation, and they let you pay that a month before you check in, or when you check in, so you don't have to worry about that ahead of time. So if you feel like this is for you, what do? Come and send me a message. I'll fix up a chat. I'm having chats this Monday. I've got a couple of ladies who want to talk to me on Monday about Uluru. We'll just have a chat. This isn't a sales call that's going to make you do it. It's just giving you the information, answering your questions, seeing if it's really for you. And please don't say, I'll do it next year, because, like this year I nearly didn't do it because I've got something else. I usually do it in May. I've got something else on in May. This year I'm going to be in England for almost the whole of May, where incidentally I'm going to do a workshop over there, I think, just a one day. And I couldn't get a date. And then all of a sudden they came through and said the 7th, 8th and 9th of August are available. Someone's cancelled. So I was able to get in. So please don't just say, oh, I'll do it next year, because you don't know what can happen. And that's not a fear thing. That's just something I know myself. I'm forever saying, oh, I'll put this off. And then all of a sudden you can't do it anymore. It's not available, or something happens. So hi everyone, let's come on. I know, Kim, that you worry about flying. That have a look at the Tapping for Fears video I did on YouTube, because that completely cured me of flying. I was a horrible flyer. My family have got pictures of me with a jumper over my head in a plane, holding everybody's hand, terrified. Now I'm just like, I enjoy it. It's fun. But I healed that fear. I worked with the angels and I did tapping. So yeah. So any questions at all about that? I'm going to get ready and do some healing with you. And this is an activation that you can be similar to the ones that I do in my classes and my retreats. I'm going to put this video up on the page for Uluru so that anybody coming in can watch it or watch it again. So Leanne says, absolutely, I will go back as I feel a pull. Yeah. Thanks, Leanne. Leanne said, I did this last year. It was fantastic as a solo traveler. Fantastic experience. Nothing to be afraid of. It's a safe place. Yeah, it is a safe place. It's not like you're landing in the middle of nowhere. There's just a special atmosphere out there, and you don't feel unsafe or I'm in a strange town, because it's like a little resort in the middle of this amazing nature. So you don't feel stranded. Everything's nice roads. There's no dirt roads. It's not crowded, but there are people where you go, and it's usually families and older people and groups. So And the rangers are lovely. The people at the hotel are lovely. It's just a really beautiful environment and atmosphere. I wouldn't want to retreat there if it was unsafe. Okay, so let's get ready and do a quick energy cleanse, because my goodness, how has the energy been in the last week? I know there's been some huge things going on in the world, and these are going to continue throughout this year. So we have to really focus. I came on live yesterday and the angel said we have to really focus on looking after our energy, connecting with our soul, making strong that connection with the universe and source, because if it's too easy for ego to come in and pull you off balance, whether it's someone else's ego or your own. And when you have that strong connection with source, peace comes. Peace comes. So make yourself comfortable, back straight, arms and legs uncrossed, hands facing the ceiling. And take a deep breath. And as you breathe, just focus in on the beautiful light above your head. I don't know if you can feel that. I'm actually seeing a really strong violet light around everybody. So Spirit is bringing in this beautiful violet light to cleanse and purify your energy. You know, violet light is amazing for cleansing away ego and transmuting heavy energies like fear, like stress, like judgment and criticism and anger, trauma. And as you breathe, I want you to feel this violet energy coming down around you, around your body, so that you're inside this, it's more like a channel. It's streaming from heaven down to earth, surrounding your body from head to toe. And just feel this energy. It's living energy. It has intelligence. It's not just light. So you'll feel the energy vibrating around your body and gently cleansing your aura. And think about releasing on the breath anything that you're holding on to at the moment. Maybe it's stress and tension. Maybe it's worry about the future. Maybe it's sadness from your past. Getting really, really relaxed into this light and allowing it to work with you. This is like angel energy. It is angel energy. And anything that you feel is cluttering your energy at the moment. You know, have you been watching too many YouTube videos? Have you been reading too many posts? Have you been overthinking something? Or have you got person fatigue, where you've got too many people in your head? Just push all of those energies out. You're not being mean. You're just getting your space back. Sometimes it's just got to be between you and the divine. Beautiful. And now let's focus on clearing out from within. So we're going to imagine that your crown chakra is like a doorway and it's just opening up. And it's allowing this violet source energy to enter your being. It's very safe. It's pure light and love. And just feel this energy working to relax you, working to get your own negative self, ego self, out of the way. So you're allowing, there's no rush, there's no hurry, there's no fear. You're just being at one with this light. You're not trying to figure it out. You're just allowing whatever energy needs to come. And we're removing right now stagnation and habits that keep you stuck. So it's like, I've wanted to make a change for ages, but I'm stuck. Or I've wanted to manifest something new, but I just feel like I'm getting the same thing over and over again. Or I keep having the same pattern show up, maybe the same kind of relationships or the same kind of treatment from people or the same kind of body issues. And we've got Archangel Michael to your left and Archangel Raphael, the healing angel, to your right. And they're showing me that they are actually working on clearing out these energy patterns from within you. So particularly working with your head, your mind, your the chakras on your head, the third eye and crown chakra. And they're clearing. You just have to set the intention to release patterns. And if you know what those patterns are, like, I just keep attracting the same kind of relationship, or I just keep finding myself in the same negative state, give that to the angels. So I want to release this. I give you permission to take this energy from me so that I can start to create new situations, opportunities, and happiness. That's it. And as soon as you give permission to the angels, they are going to start moving through your energy and pulling out these patterns. And to me, they look like corkscrew shapes. So and they're pulling them out like weeds. We're asking at the same time, while Raphael is working on clearing the patterns, Archangel Michael, please clear from everybody who is watching, either live or later, any lower energies that are interfering with their inner peace, their ability to manifest clarity, happiness, and love, ability to heal. Whether those are limiting beliefs, whether they are entities, earthbound spirits, dark energy, fears, psychic attack, cords, toxic relationships, toxins that you have ingested, energetic implants. Now that can just be that you've energetically picked up on someone else's negative belief about money, and that's become your own. You started to believe that there's not enough. That energy is being pulled out from you now. So it's nothing spooky. It's just energy. Any mind viruses that come, and mind viruses are things where you, again, pick up on thoughts, negative ideas, pain, depression, anger, anxiety from other people, and that doesn't belong to you in all directions of space and time. You might feel a pulling sensation on your head or around your body. Air pressure changes, goosebumps. Breathe. I'm willing to release this. And if you're willing, we're also going to release anything that comes from organizations, governments, school, parents, where you subconsciously feel guilty or controlled or frustrated. It's like when something seems to have power over you and you feel powerless as a result. So this is just releasing any powerlessness from within you. Or if you feel affected or upset by people in power. There's so much energy that we come across nowadays, which is just through the internet, through our phones, and we don't even realize that we are being affected by this energy. Beautiful. Now that feels a lot lighter to me. So I'm seeing the energy turning white within you and around you. So it's beautiful, purifying white light. You've just dropped a lot of density. You've dropped a lot of heaviness. You've dropped a lot of thought energy, fear energy. And now we're just going to ground you. So if you could just imagine the white light like a beautiful, just a very concentrated straight beam going through your whole system, following your spine, down to the base of your spine, and then down into the earth underneath the building where you are, straight into the center of the earth, where there'll be a big red rock in the center of the earth. So you can connect to earth wisdom as well as your angel's wisdom and your own soul's wisdom. And just imagine that shoot of light wrapping itself around the red rock. You can imagine it going around a couple of times, securing you so that you can be present and aware. And just think about something that you want to create today. What do you want to manifest? And imagine that thought pulsing, a pure thought pulsing and going up into the universe through that beam that comes in through the top of your head. That's great. And let's, if you're willing, we're going to ask Archangel Michael to put a cloak of light over you, which is like a protection. It shields you from taking on any other energies, and it will keep the healing that we've done today on the inside. You should be feeling a lot lighter and clearer. I'd love you to just let me know how you're feeling. We've never had the violet light come in before. Beautiful. And I want to thank you for listening today, for being a part of this. I know it is something that's a specific interest. If you're interested in Uluru and the retreat out there, you get to know a bit about it and why I'm doing it out there. And if you'd like to come, then just, as I said, get in touch. I mean, usually it's in May, as I said, so this time it's in August, so we have got plenty of time, and so there is a payment plan if you want to be in that. All right, my darlings, thank you so much. Hey, Dylan. Kim says, I've been looking at flights and accommodation, my first steps to overcoming my fears. Yes, so you can ask for support with that, Kim. Ask for support with that. And as I said, if you haven't found that link to the video on tapping for fears, just message me quickly before I see my next client, and I will send that through to you. Thanks, everybody. Angel blessings, and have a great weekend. Take care.